to the Instagram channel. I'll try and be more consistent over here as far as Indian equities are concerned, which I know is being sorely missed on the Be Rich channel where I'm usually talking every day. I did promise that I will talk about Indian equities here, so I'll try and be consistent here on an everyday basis to put some videos up and try and be live every day. Some parts of the day at least, and try to be consistent as we Tiffin Coffee ranges are. Talking about Tiffin Coffee range, today 5th of June, that is 2025, I managed to pick up some Tata Motors for myself in Tiffin Coffee range as is, which is my budget is around 2,000 rupees max in a day. So that's what I looked at. A lot of you wonder if you're not able to buy exactly for that amount, what you do. I usually buy less than that and I pick up some gold, whatever the pocket change is left. And try not to cross your budget too much and get overzealous when you buy Tiffin Coffee range. That's the whole point of the Tiffin Coffee range. One of our tribe members had asked an interesting question. They asked me, what happens to the bond market when the stock market crashes? What is a risk to the bond market? Well, when the equity market crashes, people usually run for safety. And safety is usually found in gold. For most people, when looking for security, we all run to gold. But more astute investors like you and me, we try to diversify and we run to the bond market. And because people run and flock to the bond market when the equity market is crashing, bond prices go up. And because bond prices go up, the yield goes down. Bond yield is the interest, because most bonds which we buy at that point of time will be in the secondary market. So let's say if it's a 100 rupee bond paying 10% interest annually, it'll be sold at a premium. Maybe people will be asking for 105, 106, pushing the bond prices up. So that means your overall interest is known as the yield, that comes down. So I hope that explains why the price goes up, but the interest which you make on it goes down because you're spending more money in it. Of course, corporate bonds take a hit depending on the risk type of the bond. The more high yielding, risky junk bonds, as they call, there can be fear of default there because the stock market is crashing, underlying assets are crashing. This happened like in Japan, where big corporations found it very difficult to pay their debt off during the massive Japanese stock market crash, because the underlying security in a lot of these big companies was real estate in Japan, which was very high at that point of time. And real estate market crashed and stock market crashed, led to a lot of corporate bonds turning bad and sour. So that can happen in corporate bonds. That's why you have to be very careful in the corporate bonds you choose and which bonds you want to invest in. So always understanding the bond you're investing is also important, I would say. Then the interest rate can also happen if the market crashes and there's a recession happening, and markets may expect the central banks to cut interest rates, and that may further boost bond prices. So you got a double whammy in the bond. So market interest rates are crashing. That means newer bonds are getting less money. So people will want to hold on to the higher, older bonds. That will fuel prices. The equity market is crashing. There's a flight to safety. That will also push. So that will all keep pushing. And in extreme cases like the 2008 crashes, even the bond market can see a temporary sell-off because of liquidity crunch. Let's say the stock market is crashing massively. People have taken positions. You know what positions are, who are trading derivatives. And usually this can lead to a liquidity crunch, like what happened in 2008. There might be a short opportunity in the bond market where you see a massive sell-off in the bond market in a short term. And that could be a window for people who are looking at bond to enter the bond market. So this is the main way to understand what happens to the bond market when the stock market crashes. So in short, bonds are very safe usually during a rally, especially if the rally tends to be negative, and risky bonds are the ones which will drop, and yields generally tend to fall. So in a stock market crash, bonds are very safe, usually, depends on the type of bond, of course, and risky bonds may default, and the interest rate, which is known as the yield, that will generally start falling because of the rising bond prices. So I hope that kind of gave some clarity on what happens to a bond market when the stock market crashes. And stay in the group, keep investing, do your Tiffin Coffee range. Tomorrow I'll come and maybe I'll talk about an Indian stock and do an explainer about an Indian company maybe we should talk about. So don't worry, Ram Prasad, PV Ramprasant. I'm going to leave this video. I'm going to add it onto the reels. I'll try and do this every day and add them onto the reels. Do institutional investors follow the same principle investing in bonds and equity crashes? Yes. Institutional investors are very much like us. What is the difference between an institutional investor and a retail investor is our goals. What our requirements are. Because let's say you're a pension fund, you have to pay pension every month. So you have targets to meet. But a retail investor like you and me, we look at it the long term and we don't have a monthly requirement or targets to meet. So that is the main difference between, an institutional investor and you and me. But in terms of buying and selling, we all buy the same things and sell the same things. So I wouldn't say institutional investors, they will be treating this very differently. They may run into a liquidity crunch and that may force them to sell some of their holdings in bonds, which may offer an opportunity in bond market. But it all depends on the crash and the opportunity. This is all purely speculation. What we're talking about is purely academic, as they say, is really not happening right now in the market. Each time the crash happens is very different from the previous crash, though we do see similarities, but there are a lot of things which are very divergent in the crash also. What is for sure is crashes will always happen. They are very tough to predict, but they do happen. You cannot say they don't happen. That much is sure. But how the actual crash, what triggers the crash, and the actual anatomy of the crash is different each time. So you have to pay attention to each one in depth and invest according to that and take your time. Never panic would be my advice. What is this liquidity crunch? Liquidity crunches meaning you run out of cash. I know these are all very fancy terms and it kind of gets confusing at times. Everyone has liquidity crunch at the end of the month. You get a salary in the first of the month and you have a lot of cash. So liquidity is not a problem. You can buy anything you want. But by end of the month, most of us run out of cash and that is known as liquidity crunch. So, companies run out of cash, so they need to sell their bonds. Investors run out of cash because they need to cover positions, so they sell the bonds. That is a liquidity crunch. Institutional investors have obligations to meet. Insurance companies have obligations to meet. So that's a liquidity crunch and they sell their bonds. So that is what. Sir, why is the list is moving like a snail? Pata's list moving like a snail. Hey, time always moves like a snail, Ibrahim. What's a rush? Are you going somewhere? We are value investors. It does take time to compound. And I am assuming you're much younger to me. And if I'm a man at 50 willing to wait and compound slowly, I think, Ibrahim, you can also take your time and compound. What is it you want? If you have a short-term goal which you need to meet and you're hoping to make the money in the stock market is not the place you can make that money. Stock market is wealth creation very slowly over a long period of time and it's not going to happen very fast. Sir, I just joined now. Anything about today's volatility? Well, you'll have to be a little more specific than that. Only swing traders worry. That's true. Swing traders always worry. Most of their life they spend worrying. I don't know why people do get into swing trading. I can't see the adrenaline rush. Maybe that's because I'm too old. At what price can I consider Dr. Reddy? Well, depends on what your motivation is. Because I think Dr. Reddy is in a fantastic price right now. And it continues to be. The news about Dr. Reddy is good, so that's why the market is being very positive to Dr. Reddy today. Your watch collections are good. Oh, this is an Apple watch. The other ones, yes, I do have quite a few watches. And that's all thanks to my wife who keeps buying me these watches. So I'll let her know that it's being appreciated. Need a detailed video about bond. Arvind, I've done many videos actually on bonds on Tamil channel and the English channel. So if you go spend some time there and look through the catalog, you'll find. I think even in this group, TCR group, if you scroll back, spend a little time, you'll find a lot of videos. I've linked it into this itself. 3 or 4 videos I've linked it. So do spend some time, Arvind. Don't ask me to spoon feed you every single thing. That's really boring, man. Sir, interested? It went off. Zydus is always on the green recently. Is it under consideration? Well, it depends which Zydus you're talking about. Sir, when are you coming to Tirupur? Ibrahim, I would love to come to Tirupur. Right now, my plan is Bangalore. This weekend I'll be heading back. Today I'm heading back to Bangalore, that is. Anand had brought me in for some work. I finished that and I'm heading back to Bangalore today by train. So if you guys are there in the Satabji evening train to Bangalore, I will be there on the train. Try and catch me and maybe you can have a conversation. And There's an event in Bangalore which is happening on Saturday. Some of you are going to come there, and I'm going to catch up with some of you over there. Then Coimbatore is the next big place where I get to meet all of you. Anand is doing a massive event in Coimbatore, so I'm sure a lot of you are attending that. So I'll meet a few of you over there too. And what is saying, sir? Interested in invest in bonds? I have sent you details. Yes, please be a little patient. Anand keeps dropping my Instagram handle on his videos, saying to reach me in Instagram, and him having a massive platform the way he has, it sends a lot of people coming to me, and I am trying to get through them. I want to be honest, so when you do get a response, it's from me. It's not from somebody else pretending to be me. So being human, answering one message at a time, it will take a little time. Please be patient and I will get there. To celebrate RCB victory. Yeah, sure. I'm sure my Chennai fans are not so happy this IPL season, but I'm a Bangalore supporter too, because Bangalore is also my second home. So I'm happy with the RCB win, though I've not had much time to. And Kesav has come. Hey Kesav, hi. Kesav waved at me. Guys, go give Kesav some love. He's being missed by everyone here, I think, on Money Pechu and this channel. So go over and give Kesav some love. Anyway, tomorrow I'll talk about Spandana, Sivram Karthikeyan. Tomorrow I'll definitely talk about Spandana and have some more information about that. Can I buy in bulk? Please don't buy anything in bulk. Anyway, gotta go now. Gotta go record my Be Rich video. See, got the camera set up. Rupesh got so bored me doing this live feed, he ran off. So let me catch Rupesh and get this Be Rich video done. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with another bit of news, something about the Indian market and what I'm doing, where I'm investing, and maybe some information about like what I spoke about the bond market. Take care, be safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow. Remember, this is videos only, anything regarding stocks I talk about, it's only relevant for today. So if you happen to see this video another day, it is not relevant buying Tata Motors or whatever I'm doing. It was on the 5th of June. So please keep that in mind, right? See you soon. Bye.